Hello, students. Today we are going to discuss a new poem named A Tiger in the Zoo. Okay, then before moving to the poem, we can discuss something about this poet. And the poem it is written by George Leslie Norris, FRSL. He was a prize winning Welsh poet and a short story writer. He taught at academic institutions in Britain and the United States, including Brigham Young University. He was born in 21st May 1921 and died on 6th April 2006. Then the acronym FRSL, that stands for Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature. Okay. Or a member of the Royal Society of Literature. Now, you just look into these pictures. Now, in the first picture, you can see that a small monkey, it is in the cage. Okay, it is trying to escape from that cage and looking helplessly. Then in this second picture, you can see a caged bird. It is also helpless, and the freedom of that bird it is denied. Then here, the ferocious lion it is also caged the inside the zoo, and the freedom of that animal too it is denied. Okay, that they are helpless in that cage. Here you can see the picture of a zoo, and here are some opinions that is about some people that they says that the zoo it is very good, and some people they are talking against that zoo, that it is very bad, and it is bad to the human and the animals. Okay, here we can just go through that discussions. Some people say that zoo can educate the public and foster an appreciation for other species. Okay, that is one of the favor, that is the opinion of the people, those who favors the zoo. Then those who are against the zoo, they say that animals in captivity suffer from boredom, stress, and confinement. Okay, confinement means imprisonment itself, that they are denied their freedom. Zoo can save endangered species by bringing them into a safe environment. It is the opinion of the first people, those who favors that zoo. Then what about the opinion of the people who are against the zoo? Removing individuals from their natural habitat endangers the wild population. So the people, those who are living in the human environment, they are taken to the wild environment, and in the opposite, as the opposite, the wild animals they are taken to the human environment. So it is bad. That is the opinion here. Okay. Then animals. Here you just read this. Animals are born with freedom and not cages. Animals have feelings, and no one has given rights to humans to captivate a species for their joy and profit. Animals need pure freedom to roam rather than keep them in cages to prevent them from being extinct. Okay, Now it is an important point that we discussed here. Now we can move to the poem. I think that you got a short idea about this theme of the poem that we are going to discuss. Okay. Here, this poem, it contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. Here, the poem that presents two tigers. One, it is in its natural habitat or in the wilderness, okay, or in the forest, and the another one, it is in the cage. The poem that moves from the zoo to the jungle and backs again to the zoo. Okay, when the poem that begins, it presents the tiger in the zoo and then it goes back to the forest and later again come back to the zoo and say which stanza, and you wanted to the students, you wanted to speak about the tiger and you wanted to read the poem silently and say which stanzas that speak about the tiger in the zoo and which one speaks about the tiger in the jungle. Okay. Now let us move to the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes, a few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Stalks means walking, walking slowly. Okay, the tiger, it is in the zoo or it is in the cages and it is walking very slowly in his vivid stripes. Vivid means clear. Clear stripes. Stripes means the black spots or the black lines over the body of tiger. Okay, by showing that vivid stripes, the tiger, it is walking inside the cage. A few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Then it is walking inside the cage on pads of velvet quiet. Okay, then its paw, the tiger's paw or its body, it is like velvet in his quiet rage. Now you can also see that the tiger, it is in its anchor. Rage means anchor. It is angry. Okay, because its freedom, it is denied and it is put inside the cage. That is why the tiger, it is angry. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. Okay, here in the second stanza, the poet, he is presenting the tiger in its wilderness or in the forest. Okay, then he says that if the tiger, he is in the forest, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass. Lurking means hiding. When it was in the forest, it will lurk in shadow, sliding through long grasses. It will hide somewhere behind the long grasses or sliding the long grasses. It will move. Then you can see that movement here, that the sliding movement of the tiger here. Okay, and near the water hole where the plum deer pass. Okay, then when it was in the forest, it will get a chance to chase the deer or the wild animals. When the animals, they will come to the water bodies to drink water, that the tiger, it can chase that animal and they can hunt and eat that animal. Okay, they can find out their own food. Now in this cage, what is the situation? That the tiger, it wanted to depend on others for its food. Okay, now we can move to the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his wide fangs, his claw, terrorizing the village. Okay, when he is in the jungle, he should be snarling around houses. Okay, if he should be in the jungle, then what happens? He should be snarling around. Snarling means making frightening noises. Okay, that he would make frightening noises and makes the villagers frightened. Okay, and he will make that frightening noise from the jungle's edge and baring his white fangs. Fangs means the white big of teeth of the tiger, and his claw. Claw, it is the nails of the tiger. Okay. So by showing its teeth and what? Its claw, it makes the people or the villagers terrorized or frightened. Okay. Okay, then we can move to the fourth stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his trunk behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. But now what is happening here? Now the poet again comes to the, or again describes the tiger in the cage. Okay, now the tiger, it is locked in the concrete cell. Then its strength, it is behind bars, or its strength, it is limited within the iron bars of that cage. Okay, that if it is in the forest, what will happen? It can show its strength by hunting and by finding its prey by its own. Okay, but here its strength, it is limited and stalking the length of his cage. Now it can only walk through the length, walk from and to the end of that cage. Okay, walk up and down through that cage. Then it is angry at the visitors and trying to ignore, and it is not bothering about the visitors or not ready to look at the visitors. Okay, because it is angry now, because its freedom, it is denied. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now the last voice, the tiger that hears, it is the voice of the patrolling cars. Okay, patrolling cars means the uh, men, the men in the zoo, they will patrol, or they will search inside that zoo to find out whether there is any problem with any animals, and to check it, they will use cars and they will move at night. Okay, then here at night, this tiger that stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Here the eyes of the tiger, it is compared with the brilliant stars, and it is helpless, and it will stay inside that cage by looking the stars helplessly. That is what we wanted to study here. Then you just try to find out the rhyme scheme of the poem, that it is ABCB. Okay, the rhyme scheme of the poem, it is ABCB, and it is one of the poetic devices used by the poet. And here you can also see some examples for alliteration. Okay, stalks in his vivid stripes. Okay, the first line itself, it is an example of alliteration. Here the words stalks and stripes, the C sound, it is a consonant sound, it is repeated here. Okay, then here we can also see beautiful images. Okay, that the tiger, it is in the cage, that the tiger, it is in the forest, and we can get some beautiful images. Okay, now I think that you got a clear idea about the theme of this poem or the main points within this chapter, and we will discuss the remaining part in the next class. So thank you.